Hello and welcome! Tonight on the show we have party time with Tangy Bang, salt-free, gluten-free hot sauce. We are so excited to have you. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. We are Sauce Spoken, with a podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined here this week by my co-host, Tori.
Hi, hello, good afternoon. My name's Tori, yes, and we're so happy to have you. And to my right, he's a reincarnated stagecoach robber, our good friend and co-host E.
Nice.
Hi, E.
Hi, Tori. Reminds me of the movie The Highwayman.
The Highwayman.
Highwaymen, I think. There's about two guys. And they were highway robbers. They like stopped coaches and yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a pretty good movie.
You wouldn't be so much a highway robber as like the guy that sneaks onto the carriage, like when they stop and go in for drinks. You'd be the guy that sneaks in there and steals their gold and runs away. Sneaky.
Or sneaks in there and falls asleep in the middle of trying to steal their gold, right, and then ends up being like,
wow, it's comfortable in this carriage.
Exactly.
Let's take a little quick nap. They'll be in there for a while, I think.
I pulled inspiration from Red Dead Redemption, for what it's worth.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually am familiar with that game because you talked about it a bit. And I think
terrific.
They made a board game version of it, I think.
I'm familiar with this as a game.
It's good.
But I'm not going to be jumping or stealing or robbing today. I came home and had made, for whatever reason, inspiration to cook a big old meal, so I am pretty ready to zonk out here and leave this podcast to you two guys.
Us two guys, Eric.
Whoa.
I think you actually mean us three guys because we're joined here this week by a very special guest. Tori, do you want to introduce your guest?
Sure. Oh, yeah. This guy's been a friend of mine for a really long time, since the dinosaurs roamed the earth. He goes by AK, and he's a very large man, and he has a very large beard.
And on the show, he's known as...
I'll let you go ahead and do
Big A. Not Big Gay, to be clear.
Hey, he's a big boy with a big beard. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
You guys have been trying to get me on here for quite a while now.
Quite a while.
Probably since I think we've been badgering you to be a guest since before we had guests. I could be wrong about that.
No, I think you're right. And you mentioned this big beard. I think there was definitely a time when it was much bigger here. And right now it's actually looking quite trimmed up.
It's gone through all stages of growth.
It's 120 degrees outside, so...
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it was pretty darn hot out today. Glad we're getting back to our weather roots.
Of course.
Hot and humid this week. Disgusting.
Disgusting. That's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our vigorous activities of the weekend here that we got planned.
Yes.
Running around in the woods, fully dressed, masked on.
It's supposed to be cooler, though. It's supposed to cool off this weekend.
Yeah, it is.
That's nice.
I think they said like a high of 78, which was
79,
going to sound
I think, yeah.
amazing compared to what we've been feeling.
Be good.
So.
Yeah, and I think it might even rain in the morning. Maybe not. That might cool it down a little bit more. Might make it more humid. Hard to say.
Finish my description here. We're going to be lobbing paint at each other, right?
Well, excuse me.
Lobbing.
We got to find that right arc.
I don't want to talk about it in advance because I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt somehow, and then we're going to have to go on and...
Oh, yeah.
It plays into the APMD.
Oh, you could roll an ankle like, you don't have to worry about getting hit with a paintball in like a bad spot. You could, twist something.
Absolutely.
Well, the possibilities are endless, really. Yeah. I mean, really.
But with that being said, AK, I was hoping that you would go ahead and give us a little bit of, kind of your history. Like, tell us a little bit about yourself, your history with sauces, what you like, what you don't like. Give us a little bit of a background about yourself.
Okay. As a born and raised Pittsburgher, of course, I love Heinz ketchup. Ketchup on everything. That is my go-to for basically everything until I met these guys. Adam has been quite the sauce leader for me here. Other than that, I would say barbecue sauce is my second go-to. Always love a good barbecue sauce.
Specifically...
Yeah, do you prefer one kind over another?
I do love the McDonald's barbecue sauce on McNuggets specifically.
The Arches, of course.
Yep. We have yet to do that. I was toying with that notion. It may still come, may or may not. We'll see.
If you have a good time tonight, you come on back for McDonald's barbecue sauce.
McDonald's sauce extravaganza.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be a blast. That'd be a lot of fun.
Cool. Thanks for that, Big A. Eric, do you have any other things about your week you want to share?
It's funny, your comment about Pittsburgher and obviously Hunt's Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Watch your tongue.
No.
Oh,
Whoa.
boy. Them's some fighting words.
Whoa.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Heinz.
Heinz.
You just said it.
The other H. That's right. Well,
The
Roll
only
gold.
H.
the other H. That's just it. I was at
Heroin.
a pizza joint yesterday or 2 days ago, and they gave me little packets of red gold ketchup. And I was like,
Red
where
gold.
am I?
Wait,
What is
for
this?
pizza? Wait, no, you didn't get pizza.
Came with, it came with some fried, onion rings.
Okay, still whack.
Which is, totally whack. I didn't use them, and I was just totally blown away by the fact that I've never even seen red gold in a single serve packet.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Huh, interesting. You want to
Super
call this
weird.
place out by name?
They weren't particularly good, so I don't know if I really want to bash them.
Definitely
here
call
on-
them out by name then. No, it's okay. We'll skip that.
But yeah, tried something new. Figured, take a little bit of my own advice of past episodes, and kind of flopped. Was lousy pizza, lousy onion rings, lousy
Nice.
everything. Yeah.
Who'd you go there with?
That was just myself.
I have to say, Eric, looking at you today, you're wearing a nice, sharp, crisp black polo, American flag on the right sleeve. You've got your little headphones on. You got a fresh buzz. You look like an air traffic controller, dude. You look authoritative, too. I don't know, something about it. You look like an air traffic controller.
If only I didn't make only 25% of what they actually make pull in, right?
Oh, they make. I mean, I think it's insanely stressful, but yeah, they make like 120 grand a year or something like that.
Yeah.
I actually just saw a news article about air traffic controllers. There's a shortage in the country.
Right.
They're trying to hire people, and they are basically they're making a push to hire gamers because they have to do so much multitasking.
Because they have to yell obscenities at the minorities.
Right. So, all you video gamers out there who said they couldn't do something now. Yeah, go ahead.
I can only imagine the pilot that's on the receiving end of the onslaught when they accidentally do something they weren't supposed to. I'm gonna fuck your mom, bro.
It's like a GTA lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and they have also, forced retirement at like 52 or something like that for that
Yes.
job. Yeah, they don't want you doing that for too long. They only want you when you're in your prime.
Bam.
So you got to save accordingly. Tori, what about you this week? Anything exciting you want to share?
I got
Man,
I
boring.
gotta clear my throat like a bad man, so allow me to do that. All right. So E's prophecy came correct. I cluttered up my throat beforehand, but yeah, I got a haircut today.
Nice.
Yeah. I went down and seen my man Scotty. So he gave me Tomahawk Scott gave me a good cut. So it's always good to see him.
Does he actually have a mohawk? I was thinking mohawk, not tomahawk.
No,
Did
because
he
he
use a
scalps it.
Yeah, say to use a tomahawk.
It would make a diff. Yeah. No, he's a great guy, great barber. Yeah, he's terrific. So that's my headline, man. I mean,
Literally.
I'm a boring dude. You said it yourself.
His
and it's-
headlines.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Get it? Because of haircut.
Oh yeah, he didn't
headlines.
line me up right. Well, I'll be here all night, or he'll be here all night.
AK, anything interesting you did this past week you want to share?
Well, I ordered a new desk. I know that some of you guys have heard from me that I was having issues with my chair, and I got a new chair. Well, then, of course, the new chair didn't work with my old desk, so I ordered a new desk. And in standard Amazon fashion, the Prime 2-day shipping is supposed to take 2 weeks now.
Nice. Maybe
Right.
you can order one from another supplier like Walmart and then get both and then return one and get the other one for free or
Hey.
get both for free.
I think
Not-
that
yeah.
story's a little long for this kind of
I think we may
conversation.
have told that story on this show, like an early one. Maybe not.
We might have
I could be wrong.
alluded
The
to it.
very cliff notes.
We won't
probably.
reference it now.
What kind of a desk did you get, AK?
It's one of those adjustable ones.
Yes, that's what I want to get for myself too, because my chair doesn't fit under my desk.
Oh, yeah.
The
I hate
arms
that.
always collide, and it drives me nuts. And I'm like, I
I
need
hate that.
something to raise this up. And then I was like,
Is your chair all the way down already?
yep.
Yeah, I had that same issue with my last desk. And how long you been working from home now, AK?
Oh, since the beginning of COVID almost. I think it was March. We were originally supposed to alternate week in, week out. And the very first day of week out, they just sent everybody home.
Yeah, most people have been kind of on, off, or something like that throughout this past year and a half, and you've been pretty steadily just working from home.
Yeah, well, the new employer, they don't have an office here in the state, let alone the city. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be working from home forever.
Cool.
Nice.
And
It's worth getting the new desk and chair for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you
awesome.
got to splurge on
Worth it,
yourself if
exactly.
you're doing something like that. That's 100% true. You got to do it every day.
If it separates you from the floor, it's okay to spend $1 or $2.
Well, we've been talking a lot about this week about things that people have been doing, especially Eric, usually goes on a long time about what he was doing this week. And one thing that Eric was not doing this week was having a tangy bang.
Oh, wow.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Get it, Eric?
Bang.
Banging girls. Because our sauce this week is, as Eric had specially ordered from Amazon a couple episodes ago, Mr. Spice salt-free Sansel. I don't know what language that is.
That's another language, yeah.
Yeah, I know that's another language. I don't know what language that is what I said, you piece of shit.
Gotta be Spanish.
Tangy Bang Sauce!
I can imagine.
Actually, It says Tangy Bang Hot Sauce. Sauce extra picante. Probably Spanish, I'm guessing.
Yes.
There's an echo in here. It's weird.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh.
I'm gonna fucking bonk you with this sauce. It's gonna be Tonky Bonk Sauce.
Straight to the violence.
Well, you got this for us, Eric. So do you want to go ahead and give us a little bit of a visual description of the outside of the bottle that we're looking at?
Sure, I'd be happy to. We have maybe a slightly more premium glass bottle than the episode that was airing just today, the barbecue sauce from Massanutten, Virginia.
I love how we make references to that, and the listeners are probably all out of sorts because, I mean, even if we say what sauce it is, they're probably still going, what the fuck are these guys on? And that's because we record a little bit in advance.
Right. No, it's a nice glass jar here, bottle. I don't know, it's what, 20? It's 10.5 ounces. Got a black plastic
Troublesome
cap.
territory.
What?
He started to say, I said troublesome territory. Eric has problems with knowing the ounces and things.
Oh. I thought you said
it.
No, never mind.
Well, first you started to say 20 or something, or 24 or something like that, and then you walked it back.
98 grams first, apparently. Maybe this is like set up for sell in Mexico or
Were
something.
you about to say 298 ounces? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, I just started to read it.
Oh my God,
It's
Eric.
like, oh wait, it's actually 10.5 ounces. Anyways, let's see here. It's got a
How many of that in milliliters?
I don't know.
Wow.
Striped red and orange background. It says Mr. Spice and a round logo with like a chef kind of looking. Yeah, he's got the chef collar, the chef jacket on. A cartoonish kind of character there in the center. It says organic, salt-free, gluten-free, hot sauce. So yeah, Tangy Bang. It's also got not a heck of a lot else going on it. It's got a little bit of a...
Can I hop in for a seckie?
Yeah.
I think at a glance, that label would be easily mistaken for Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Oh yeah, okay, the label.
Look at it.
Not the container.
It's
but yeah.
orange with
Yes.
the red.
With
And
the lettering on the side that looks
Yeah.
like the striped things.
if I took my glasses off, that's a bottle of Arm & Hammer or something.
Yeah, like a
striped
box.
things.
Yeah.
The boxes are striped on Abraham?
Yeah,
They're that same tone of orange.
Yeah, they're that
Dude, I'm the
same-
baking soda king.
Yeah, they're the same orange with like the little striations on the side or
Mhm.
whatever, Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
If anybody's referencing baking soda, it's going to be DG.
Oh, yeah, dude. If I took my glasses off, I wouldn't know the diff.
The baking soda king of Pittsburgh.
You probably need that at to squelch that fire that it sets. But, I don't want to.
Squelch.
I don't want to spill
You're
the beans.
alluding to the taste notes there, yeah.
I'm spilling the sauce over
Too
here.
far ahead.
There's
Oh,
just a bit
dang
of
it.
text on it, the normal barcode. It's a pretty boring label, really, and
Pretty
I think
boring.
I think you'd look over it pretty easily in the sauce aisle.
Is it in date?
Is it in date?
You better. What? You just got it, a couple days
I
ago,
did
right?
just get
Isn't
it.
it right on the side there?
I don't think that's a date code.
The lot code?
Yeah, it's like a lot code. 177-020.
Neat.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Okay. We'll assume it's in date. Probably one of those third-party fakes from Amazon. Knockoff sauce. Which would explain how I
Well, it
felt
was
about
bought
it.
on Amazon, so it certainly could be.
You bought it on air, as a matter of
I
fact.
bought it,
First on-air purchase.
Yeah.
The episode that is airing today, August 12th.
The
So,
first purchase Eric has made this year that wasn't on Kickstarter.
that's not true.
That's not true.
He bought groceries once.
Yeah, the rest of the time I just got free food from the coworkers.
Yeah, exactly. I know. We've alluded to before. You have them fooled on the show. They think there's something terribly wrong. Like, oh, Eric's critically depressed. We need to give him our leftovers.
And
oh,
poor.
Eric, I don't eat leftovers. Here, just take this whole 3 meals worth of food. I won't eat it because that's true.
I'm just reaping the benefits, that's all. All right,
boy.
Tori, you want to talk about the
Hold on a second.
Whoa.
Don't direct the podcast.
inside sauce?
Tori, do you want to describe the inside of the sauce that we're looking at there?
Yeah, boy, I think at first glance, I think this looks an awful lot like Frank's Red Hot.
Yep.
As it cascades down the inside of the glass and thins out. The specs that we see look pretty well uniform. We don't quite have the have the striation, the long ones, those long pieces of flex, that tomato peel, like that barbacoa sauce, which is
added
infamous.
peel.
Yeah, boy, they go out of their way for it.
Well, that was the Hanks that had the
That was
added
the
peel,
Hanks,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I really think that
Not the Blasian barbacoa.
Not the Blasian. So I think that's the best way for me to describe it. If you've seen Frank's Red Hot in a bottle,
One important thing to note, I think, no shingling observed here.
I was going to say the same thing.
Good point.
In fact, we might even just go out on a limb and say this is a stained glass version.
Very much so.
Wow.
It is. I'm actually impressed by how well it is easy. It fades, as the sauce drains down, but it maintains a perfectly even coating somehow.
Yeah.
I feel like that must be some additive, like guar gum or something in there that's doing that. I feel like that's always
some awesome chemical at work. Yeah.
Well, I would say to describe your film there that this is probably very well emulsified. Don't know if there is soy lecithin in here or not, but that's a big emulsifier. I know that from watching the Good Eats show, if you ever watch that.
I was just going to reference Alton Brown.
If it is, don't spoil the ingredients. That's Eric's favorite segment.
He could take it.
No.
Like I said, I ate too much today. I'm going to let you guys just run the podcast. Except for being yelled at a minute ago for
I'm
running
going to let
the
you
podcast.
guys run the podcast, except for every single segment where I direct it.
I definitely agree wholeheartally with TG over there that this, now that he mentioned it, does look a lot like the Arm & Hammer style of logo on here.
I think both of you were right on the ballpoint, because what I thought when you were rolling it around over there was that the sauce looked exactly like Frank's, and the label looked exactly like Arm & Hammer. It's almost like you made like a mashup, and that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Although I think this is slightly fleckier than Frank's is upon close inspection, but from a distance, the color is identical.
I'd have to agree with that, yeah. I think however they got that spice perfectly suspended inside it, and then the way it clings to the walls of the bottle, a little different than Frank's. I think Frank's is a little more just runny. I think Frank's is a lot more like a finer liquid that doesn't really have too much flakes suspended in it, actually. I don't know. I guess I have to look at the bottle of Frank's.
I would say thickness-wise, this is maybe slightly thicker than Frank's, right? Pretty close, but slightly.
But slightly. Very slightly.
Cool. Well, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and move on to our initial tasting notes? Eric, do you want to lead us off for that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I poured out into our little cups here, and I took a big sniff, and I definitely smelled vinegar, but I also smelled something that was a little bit off, kind of chemically almost. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is like vinegar and lemon. And that's kind of what I was picking up on. I was like, okay, it's vineger, it's lemon juice, and then
it's funny you should mention that, because I can see from across the table that the third ingredient is actually Pledge.
Yeah, and then there's a decent amount of spice in there that gives it a little bit of a bang, just like the name suggests. It's tangy, and then it's followed by a bang. So, yeah, I don't know. It was not a whole lot to go on, not a whole lot to describe per se. I know we were all collectively struggling to get the flavor to permeate the well-cooked, crusted chicken nuggets that we always have.
No, they weren't well-cooked. They were poorly cooked. They were barely cooked. In the words of Gordon Ramsay, they were fucking raw. Disgusting, Eric. I like them with a nice, thick, gnarly black crust on them.
Mine were quite crunchy. I ended up having to get a toothpick to pick them out of my teeth. The breading was well done enough, personally, but and I know you grabbed a toothpick, but that's just because you got, tight teeth, I guess, over there.
A fetish for 'em.
Tight teeth.
Tight teeth, bro.
Old tight teeth over here.
All right, let's go to AK next with tasting notes. What do you think about that sauce there, AK?
Well, I agree 100% with Eric on the vinegar smell right out the gate. I've tasted a lot of spice, but yet not a lot of flavor. Again, with what Eric said, the nuggets almost overpowered the flavor of the sauce, which is pretty impressive because a nugget has almost no flavor. So I don't really know what it tastes like. Even tasting it just out of the cup, it really doesn't have a lot of flavor, just mostly some spice. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more smokiness or something else, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're both spot on. I mean, personally, I know we haven't busted out this word in a little while, so I'm going to crack it back open, and it's astringent.
No,
we all
it's
got
right.
We got a kick with that word a while back, but I think this is a perfect example. Like you said, there's not a lot of flavor despite how aromatic the sauce is. It really has a pungent note to it. Punches right in the nostrils.
Huh.
When I first tasted it, First of all, I mean, you get the vinegar. That's a given. When I first tasted the sauce, I distinctly noticed what I thought was actually like a soy sauce. Yeah, and that was
Soy sauce.
hear me out. I thought like I got like soy sauce immediately followed by like a lot of sweetness that tapered off really fast. The sweetness didn't linger for some reason, which I thought was odd. And then obviously it was like that punch of vinegar and then barbecue notes, especially at the end there. And I got a little, not as much as like the molasses barbecue, but more of like that kind of like pepperiness to it. A little bit of heat, but not enough that I would call it a hot sauce, which I think is how it's marketed as. So I thought that was a little bit strange. My two kind of like follow-up observations I had on it were, one, I think that sweetness I was getting, like we mentioned, like the honey and the sugar, they have like a lingering power to them or something to me. And then this didn't have that. I don't know if it was because it was being cut by the vinegar, but to me, I was getting that like artificially chemical taste, to the sweetness that I get sometimes, like an aspartame or a stevia or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take a soft stance that maybe there's one of those artificial sweeteners in there, which is tricky because sometimes they don't always make that clear in the ingredients.
That is tricky. It's interesting. I mean, I know I made the comment that, like I said, like lemon juice is what I was getting.
Right.
Because I think lemons can come across sweet and then be more soury and acidic.
Like those warheads.
Yeah, almost
Candies.
like a warhead, yeah.
No, I think you're right.
But I suppose it could be artificially, chemically created, too.
And the thing about that I was going to mention about the weird thing with those ingredients is because, I don't know how you're supposed to say it, aspartame, whatever you want to say correctly. AK will know, I'm sure.
I don't.
Okay. Usually a knower of things. The thing about that is that because it's a chemical, if you ever see how much they actually put into something, it's like they take one drop and dilute it into like 200 gallons of fluid, because it is like the sweetest chemical on the planet. So because there is such a minuscule amount of it in things to sweeten them, they typically don't list it on the ingredients, or they list it as like because it's not like there's no quantity of it. Does that make sense?
Sure. No,
I
see what you're saying.
I made up the 200 gallons thing, but literally I think like if you take like a gallon of soda pop and you just took the sugar out of it, like a third of that volume would be sugar versus like a gallon of diet pop, like literally 1 milliliter is aspartame in there or something like that.
Right. I mean, right. I think, I don't know exact numbers. It's got to be like 7
It's
cups
minuscule.
of sugar for a 2 liter of pop versus 1 tablespoon of aspartame.
We got to move on past the chemistry talk. We're losing Tori fast. He's fading. I can see him lolling.
Blimey.
The only other thing I want to say really quick is that on my last initial like smell taste thing I did before we started was I thought it tasted like initially McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. That was the initial thing I got, like McDonald's sweet and sour that blends into barbecue somehow with more vinegar and with a less like lingering sweetness.
Like a spicy barbecue, obviously, because it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have like molasses or sweet notes.
It wasn't that spicy. I like you said, no molasses, but yeah, I like a Carolina barbecue. Tori, what about you? What'd you think?
Wow. Yeah, I thought it was. I got the sweetness up front, like you guys did. I thought it was pretty pleasant. Yeah, the sweetness didn't last, like you mentioned. It was followed up by what I thought was a heat, an almost overwhelming heat. It wasn't the peppers that we're used to, at least maybe the habaneros or the jalapenos. It was too late onset and hung around too long in comparison to the other hot peppers that we've had. So I'll be curious to see what's making that as spicy as it is. On the label, it mentions it's salt-free and gluten-free, which, I mean, salt-free is impressive. Gluten-free is sort of a gimme, but they make no mention about MSG-free.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see what the story is there.
Yeah, you definitely could be right, because I was definitely getting like those savory notes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tricky thing too, like, because people say salt, but there's a lot of different salts that, there may be no table salt, sodium
it's a pretty
chloride.
loose term.
But there could be a million other salt type things, like you said, or MSG, which or it could even be, if you ever had, I think what they call it, like yeast, there's like a yeast extract or something like that that's used for like a salty umami type flavor too. I forget what it's called, like deactivated yeast or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's in there, but
I would have to think, MSG being as notorious as it is, as the reputation that it carries, if it doesn't have MSG, I would think that would be more likely to be touted. Something like that I think would be advertised just because of the nefarious nature of MSG, all the spookiness it causes, the hangnails and police brutalities and whatnot.
But Heinz ketchup doesn't say no MSG on it.
Well, the MSG thing is kind of just a bullshit thing anyways.
It's not red gold ketchup now. It's not the good stuff.
I think we all know that. The thing about the MSG is naturally occurring in oodles of foods. It's in all tomatoes and mushrooms and like pretty much anything else. It's in a gazillion things, but people get hyped up about it because...
Right, yeah, I'm not saying what's true. I'm saying what's perceived.
Oh, sure, I know. Sure. I'm 100% agreeing with you. I think you were coming off that way. I was just clarifying.
In my experience, it seems mostly Asian things that advertise no MSG, whereas most other ethnicities and just standard foods don't bother.
Well, that was the history of that, was that people were going to Chinese food and getting a headache and getting sick and all stuff after going and gorging themselves at Chinese buffets, and that was the key, was it was this whole thing about they heavily use MSG in their seasonings, like all chefs do. It's just that they got the bad rap for it, so that's why they advertise.
Yeah, I suppose so. I smelled a lot of that citrus, like you were mentioning. I didn't taste it as much, but I definitely smelled it.
You didn't taste lemons or any kind of... But you smelled it.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely there in the nose, for sure. And the vinegar was there also.
Oh, yeah.
But the heat didn't grab me on the nose. But I think that'll about do it for me.
I went ahead and actually wrote down in my notebook spirit vinegar, specifically. I think it's that, real crisp, clean. Because I'm starting to get a taste for this.
No, you're not.
Taking a hard stance on it.
Fucking not.
Getting a taste for it.
You're absolutely fucking not.
I'd be curious to see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and move on to Eric's favorite segment of the show, the ingredients.
I'd be willing to share if AK wants to take a stab, if you want to do it.
I will pass on that.
No,
that text is so small. I was
going
to
say, that's why Eric doesn't like doing it, because he doesn't like to read.
Oh, yeah, I don't like to read.
And I make fun of him when he mispronounces things.
Well, he does do that.
You make fun of him regardless.
That's true, too.
He knows. He signed up for it.
Okay, so there's actually a whole section of the label still that's not part of the ingredients. I kind of just glossed over.
It's easier to read text, so I'll focus on that right now.
A warm up.
Well, yeah, it's a warm-up here. So it says organic, no cholesterol, no MSG, no preservatives, gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, no... What the hell is that? HVP, whatever that is. No sulfites, salt-free, fat-free, vegan, no HFCS.
High fructose corn syrup.
I
don't know what the HVP is, though.
They actually say it out in...
piss.
They say it in...
no
Spanish.
high volume piss.
Hydrogenated, no.
Yeah, it is. It's hydrogenated protein vegetable protein.
Wow. Good job, Tori.
Trying.
Interesting.
I'm not as dumb as most people look.
See...
I like that one.
Sleeper one, yeah. The thing I will mention, I know if they're going to list it all on the side like that, I'm okay with that. But in general, I hate it when people are like, it's gluten-free, when there's no reason why such a thing would have gluten in it to begin with. And I don't think a hot sauce is something that anyone would suspect of having gluten in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think that's an award. I don't think. Yeah. Taking the victory lap for no gluten. Cut me a break.
No, they list all those things down the side of the bottle, and we're talking like a span of an inch and a half of text, and it's just like that's why I glossed right over. Like, what do I care? I just okay, a bunch of text.
The wall.
The
of
three
text.
things I find most interesting: the no salt, the no MSG, as you pointed out, Tori, which was astute, and I'm surprised it's not in there, and then the no preservatives.
Sulfites, yeah.
Or sulfites, yeah, no preservatives or sulfites.
I think it's interesting because, vinegar is a preservative in and of itself. Maybe they mean no, like, artificial preservatives. I get that. But I did think that was a little bit strange. So, does it say refrigerate after opening on this? Does it say for taste, or does it say you must refrigerate? That's what I'm most interested in. Doesn't say at all.
I'm looking. It says refrigerate after opening.
Oh. Shake
well, refrigerate after opening.
All right, so I don't know. This may actually need to be refrigerated. Hard to say.
Huh, that's wild.
It did taste salty to me, though, to some extent. Not super salty, not as salty as some sauces, but I would have definitely said there was some sort of salt type thing in there. But without further ado, we buried the lead enough. Eric, relieve us of our burning urge.
All right.
First time you ever heard that word said. That phrase said.
Oh,
definitely not.
Man.
As no man wants to. All right.
He's panicking again.
Ingredients. There is water, apple cider vinegar.
Wait, water's the first?
Water's the first ingredient.
Huh.
Apple cider vinegar, evaporated cane juice, ginger puree, rice starch, horseradish, cayenne, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, lemon juice, xanthan gum,
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
Get it, Tori.
coriander,
Bang,
lemon peel.
Peel, Eric! Your
I
favorite!
love the
There's
peel.
They put peel in this, Adam,
Peel!
and ginger oil.
Huh, a lot of
Definitely
ginger
got a
in
lot
this.
of ginger. Yeah.
I think that's interesting. And no mention of any like artificial sweeteners or anything.
Nope, no
They said like
artificial-
what, cane sugar or something like that, or cane juice or something. What they say?
Said
What's the sweetener?
evaporated cane juice.
That is weird. Because I generally like cane syrup, like the sodas that use cane
Okay.
sugar,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
The,
those.
the throwback ones.
Yeah, like Jones and stuff like that. I like those.
I knew there'd be cayenne in there. I knew that red flake in
It's a
there,
given.
but horseradish what took me
Yeah,
off
I
by
didn't get
surprise.
any of that. And I think here's what I'm actually starting to wonder. And maybe I should have suspected this from the get-go, because you know how we all kind of said the taste seemed kind of like watered down? First of all, water being the first ingredient. I mean, obviously that is a contributing factor, but I wonder if, back to the sage wisdom that Eric has always given us on this show,
Oh, no.
salt is a flavor enhancer. And maybe that's what this needed, is it's in dire lack of enhancement. Maybe that's why it tastes so washed out.
Yeah, actually, you could very well be onto something there.
Because if you ever read the book or I think it's a show, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, they typically say those are like the 4 key things for flavor,
Yep.
Yeah.
And then sugar, obviously, too.
Right.
But, so I think on a savory thing like this, what's it missing? I think it's got everything but that salt.
As the warrior poet princess once said, let me upgrade you. So, Beyonce. And, I think you should go ahead and throw some salt on that and upgrade it.
Yeah, a little
It'd be an
salt, a little
interesting
pepper,
experiment.
throw it on to some chicken and, use as a marinade. I bet it should be really good.
Yeah.
I just don't like that sweetness. That's the thing that's really throwing me off, is that I don't find it pleasant.
Man, I didn't mind that at all.
Really?
Yeah, not one bit.
Did you notice what I was saying? It wasn't very long lasting, though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mentioned that myself.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Maybe it is just because of the... And what type of vinegar was in there, Eric? I know you took a hard stance.
Apple cider. I was totally wrong.
Oh, I'm really starting to taste a difference now.
That ACV, it's real.
Oh, boy.
So-
I think it's spirit vinegar.
So I've been taking some sniffs at this sauce here since he gave us the ingredients, and now that he brought it up, I can definitely smell a hint of the ginger. And I couldn't put my finger on it before, but I believe it was a little bit of horseradish that I was smelling that was familiar, but I just wasn't familiar enough to pick it out.
I wonder if that sweet and sour sauce taste I was getting was from the ginger. I'm actually highly suspicious about that now.
Oh, I'd be sure. Yeah, I'd be,
I wouldn't have said that up front, because ginger can have a little bit of a spiciness to it on its own.
absolutely. Especially fresh ginger. But, you get that pickled stuff from, when you get sushi.
Right, as a palate
And then-
cleanser.
Right. And then you got that, vinegar notes, and you get, a sweet note, and then you get, a little...
Bite.
I don't know. Bite. Yeah,
Yeah.
zing afterwards, so...
Interesting. Huh. Yeah.
Dare I say that this could be, I don't know, a General Tso's sauce? I know that's a hot button topic around here.
It's interesting because I'm not sure if you're joking or not. But
I'm very serious.
okay, I was
think
going to
you're
say,
serious,
it's,
yeah.
it's interesting that you should mention that, because that was actually one of my first initial thoughts when I first tasted on the nuggets that were way too hot. Like you guys said, it got washed out too quickly. I had trouble really getting a good taste on the nugget.
The nugget was temperature too hot.
Yes. No, they were too spicy. You made the nuggets too
Well,
spicy in your toaster oven, Eric.
What someone might think if they
Fucking
didn't know what
idiot.
you were saying.
But anyways. But anyways, no, they get kind of washed it out. But initially, I did think kind of like, oh, this has kind of like a General Tso's taste. But then later, I think I refined that to what I was thinking more of. It was like the sweet and sour sauce. But I actually think you could be, like this could be onto something. You maybe add some stuff to it.
Yeah.
Put the MSG back in.
Yeah,
I think you'd have to add a lot of stuff to get this to General Tso's. I do not think this is that close.
You have to thicken it up a lot right off the bat. We should take this and just add some more xanthan gum to it and see what happens.
Ooh.
See if we can make a gelatin out of it.
Xanthan gum, sugar, and MSG. And I
Salt.
bet you'd and some salt, and I bet you'd be pretty close to. I would think I too. I think it's very similar to a General Tso's.
I think you're in maybe not exactly General Tso's, but I think you're in that ballpark. I think you can make a Chinese chicken dish, definitely.
And
I mean,
some red pepper flakes to it.
I dare say I eat probably way more General Tso's than everyone else here.
That's definitely true.
How spicy is it?
The General Tso's or the sauce?
Careful. Tread carefully.
General Tso's sauce.
The General Tso sauce that you eat so much of.
Tread carefully.
You're the expert, dude.
Well, it depends on A, the restaurant, and B, apparently who is cooking it, because you can vary wildly from day to day.
It sure does.
From day to day.
Yeah. I can order from the same place on 2 different days in the same week, and it'll be completely different levels of spice.
Sometimes.
Do you think it's supposed
so
to be spicy?
spicy?
Do you think it's supposed to be spicy? The original recipe in your mind
I mean, they do advertise it as spicy.
Oh, how about that? We've
said that on the show 18 times, Eric. They put the little chili pepper next to the thing for the infants that order it by mistake. But they're clearly catering it to an American palate.
Most places has almost no spice at all.
Oh,
it seems like
say that.
it seems like that whole spicy thing is just for show.
No, it's spicy. God damn it!
It's supposed to be spicy.
The spiciest sauce on the planet.
Now, how does that relate to how they serve General Tso's in South Africa?
Exactly.
I've never been to South Africa.
I'm counting on you big time here, bro.
But imagine if someone lived in South Africa, having grown up with the sauce that you know is common there. I'm sure you're well aware of the sauce that's popular there, right? Oh, you're not? Imagine that person, though, came to America and went to a Chinese restaurant and ordered a dish with a little red pepper thing next to it.
They'd be sorely disappointed.
That confused look on, and for the listeners, there's a wildly confused look on AK's face right now, which is just us trying to describe the inner machinations of Eric's mind to him, and that's now he has fully grasped the way that Tori and I feel on a daily basis.
I will add this. On the times that I've ordered General Tso's, and it has been excruciatingly spicy, and I mean I was crying eating it, it was absolutely the best General Tso's I've ever had.
Awesome.
I do think it's better when it's spicy.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've been growing in my garden this year some of those little Thai hot peppers, little wrinkly boys about yay long that pack a hell of a punch. And the last time I got General Tso's, what? You don't think those were fucking spicy,
No,
Eric?
no.
I'm going to bring one and make you fucking eat one.
I liked your yay long. Yay long.
What is that weird? Yay long?
A little weird.
It's not a common thing to say.
Well, you held up your hand way longer than I thought you were gonna. Like, I thought they were like tiny. I thought they were like maybe like a max of like 1.5 to maybe
yay big.
2.
You gonna dry them out or something?
Okay.
You don't have to. You can use them, which is what I did, actually. I carved one up, and I used about yay much of it. And no, I used the whole thing, and I stuck it in some General Tso's chicken. And the only thing my only regret is that, and this is the gripe I have about the dried ones too, is they don't mix with the sauce well. You almost have to like cook it together or do something to kind of get the oils out to really incorporate it. Because I just got like spicy bites as opposed to the whole thing being spicy.
Interesting.
But one is enough for a pretty potent serving of General Tso's.
Might be dang. Nice.
Cool.
Cool. Wow.
So you'll have to.
That's neat. Let's move on, Adam.
You'll have to cook some for us, Adam. I know.
Sorry for that segue. I knew that was going to stir shit, so
So you had to go there.
stir away. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep stirring.
I want to take a little glance at the website here. We pulled up the Tangy Bang sauce, and they really don't have. There's actually, it's funny. The label is fully laden with text, and there's actually more text on the label than there is on the entire website for this sauce. I think. Does that seem accurate? That's it.
Yeah, or at least equal.
I think there's less. But they do have an FAQ, a frequently asked questions. So I want to take a little gander at that and see what they say here. All right, well, they do. The number one is, how long will my bottle of Mr. Spice last? And it seems valid based on the lack of preservatives.
Right.
If you can resist finishing the whole bottle in one sitting.
You knew they were going to hit you with some corny shit.
Yeah, I know.
You knew it.
It says shelf life of 36 months. Make sure to refrigerate after opening. Oh, where do I find the expiration date, Eric? There's one for you. Why don't you read the answer to this? Oh, wow.
That's a long answer for
There's
a simple question.
Oh, there's like 5 paragraphs on here. Oh, Jesus.
So this is extremely out of date.
It says, if you ever wondered what that number on the shoulder of a bottle is, it's called a Julian date. And understanding it is a breeze.
It's a breeze.
Almost as easy as putting a fucking expiration date on it.
Just watch this 2-hour-long YouTube video.
So the first 2 digits specify the year. What's the first 2, Eric?
Okay, so obviously we're on the number below. Okay, so 21. So
okay, this year. Last 3 digits specify the day of the year. Okay. Last 3.
Set your clock to when this goes bad.
064
Yeah.
of 21.
Yeah.
So we're well past that. We're like halfway through the year. We're like at 200. Are we?
But they're saying add 4 years to that date and you got yourself an expiration date. Look down all the way.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
It's
Okay,
it's well within. This
That's
is
the
very
manufacturing date
Yeah,
versus the expiration date. Interesting.
This is the Julian date. It's a breeze.
Ooh, it's a breeze. It's just that easy, folks. Yeah, so they definitely could have been a little bit more clear on the expiration date, although, like I said, it's well within date, recently manufactured, so we're safe on that.
Do I dare say that's a first for sauce on here?
We're batting like 50-50 or so.
What, you talking the Julian date or having a sauce that's in date?
Having a sauce
in
in
date.
I mean, we do like try to take that into accounting if it needs to, but I think we do pretty good. I think we've only had a few instances where they were don't fucking roll your eyes at me.
No, I
it was
wasn't
a lesson.
rolling.
Shit. You were fucking
Trying to
rolling.
remember.
I could see that. All I could see was fucking whites in your eyes. I rolled so far back.
I believe it was a lesson learned by like episode 15 to check the date.
It's tricky because we'll buy the sauces. They'll be within date when you buy them, and then you're trying to like plan, and then sometimes you get into a situation where you have like 3 barbecue sauces, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do 3 barbecue sauces all in a row because the listeners will stop being titillated like they always are.
Yeah. Hanging on every word.
Yes, we have to keep them constantly guessing, coming back for more. They also say on here on their website, are the flavors spicy? I really want Eric to read one of these answers. I haven't read this yet.
Sure, it says the 9 flavors run the gambit from spicy to mild. Here is a more specific breakdown. Spicy flavors, Tangy Bang Hot Wing, moderately spicy flavors,
Moderately.
Indian curry, garlic steak, honey barbecue, and Thai peanut, and our sweet or savory flavors, also known
Parentheses,
as
not spicy.
not spicy, ginger stir fry, honey mustard, and sweet and sour.
So these all seem like pretty basic sauces to me. They do have a full list out here of their sauces.
The use of moderately makes me think they lost something in translation.
Maybe.
It could be.
Moderately spicy. Respectfully spicy.
Tangentially spicy. Titillatingly spicy. They do have a whole plethora here of recipes, so you'll be relieved of that duty tonight, Eric.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I want to read a couple of these off because I think some of them are pretty strange. First one is the Tangy Bang Queso Dip. Tori?
Oh, Tangy Bang Tempeh Tacos.
Eric?
Bloody Mary salsa.
AK?
You're going to have to make that larger.
Tangy Bang Chippy Quesadillas. Tori?
Tangy Bang Nachos, a classic.
Eric?
Tangy Bang cauliflower and carrot burgers. Now that sounds
Disgusting.
Yeah, that sounds vile. That's like for the people that are buying this for the vegan thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think, I don't feel like the queso dip, I think that seems fine. I mean, it's such a mild sauce. I feel like you're not going to get a whole lot of flavor out of it, but that's fine.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny that that's on there because this whole time I've been thinking that if you added maybe like half this bottle to some salsa, it would probably really add a nice spice to a salsa.
I agree. I think that could be pretty good with the the tang and all that. Bloody Mary salsa. I don't know if I like the looks of that. I don't know. It looks like a pretty standard salsa recipe to me. They have celery in the salsa.
That'd be nice. That'd be good.
Really? Celery
Yeah,
in salsa?
I'd be with that. I never had it before, but I would definitely be on board.
I'm calling a
with
whack on that.
Oh, well, you've had it in my salsa.
I'm definitely calling a whack on that.
that.
No, I'm saying you've had it before.
I'm
in
calling
my
a whack on it.
I like a crunch, man. Hook me up with a crunch.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get on to the ratings portion of our show. Why do you always look surprised, Eric? You always are amazed by whatever the next segment is. You're like, oh, what? We're going to do that?
I'm
Wow.
just your average
Again?
listener. I'm excited on the edge of my seat.
We're going to do the ratings again?
We're going to do ratings
This
now?
episode?
Wow, we're 45 minutes in, about.
Yeah, all right. I suppose it's about
Ratings?
right. Why do we let Adam do this?
But it's only been the exact amount of time that it normally is for ratings, Adam. Oh, goodness. So as we explained a little bit to you before the show here, AK, but for the listeners and for you, we do sauces on a 0 to 10 rating scale, and typically we consider, for the flavor, Heinz ketchup to be a 5. Now make of that what you will. Some people like ketchup more, some like it less, but that's just kind of like our good ballpark average for that. For the heat rating, same thing, 0 to 10. And that one, we use Frank's Red Hot, just the heat, not the flavor, as kind of like our ballpark number 5 for how spicy the sauce is.
Okay, so just a little precursor here. I do not typically use Frank's Red Hot, so I do not have a fresh opinion of how hot that is.
Do you have a hot sauce that you do frequent?
No.
Okay. Well, then your guess, you can use any number system, whatever rating you want, 0 to 10, wherever that seems appropriate to you.
All right.
Eric, do you want to go ahead and lead us off with your rating for this?
I'd be happy to. Got over my shock. I can come up with some numbers.
Ratings again? In this show?
We fanned you off. We splashed some water in your face.
Oh my! You got a fainting spell.
I do have a question. Are we going to do a spice? I think we should do a spice.
It says it's a hot
Yeah.
sauce. I think we have
definitely
to.
think it should
Okay,
be spice, yeah.
So I was kind of on the fence on this one. I sort of liked it, sort of didn't. I still think there's opportunity for this to shine. I'm just not sure where exactly that is. I don't think their chicken nuggets tonight did it much justice. As of right now, I'm going to give it a 5.5, and I hope that it can go up higher. But I think right now it's just it's mediocre sauce for me.
And you go ahead and give us your heat rating for that as well.
All right. I think when I was drinking it, it was very spicy. But I wouldn't recommend people just drinking hot sauce. When I tried it with the chicken nuggets, though, I didn't think it was that hot at all. I was drenching that chicken nugget, and it just didn't really come through for me. So in my mind, I'm going to have to give it like a 2.5. That sounds maybe a little weak, but
Okay.
All right.
All right, AK, you want to go ahead and take a whack at giving us your ratings? Do the flavor first, and then follow that up with the heat rating.
All right. So for flavor, I agree with most of what Eric said, that it really wasn't doing it any justice to put it on a chicken nugget. You would need something a little bit less flavorful than a chicken nugget, which is kind of surprising.
Kind of sad, yeah.
Yeah.
I would personally give it a 3 out of 10. It's not horrible, but it just isn't adding anything for me, really. And then for the heat rating, not having tasted Red Hot recently, I would probably say it's a 3.5 at most in the spiciness. It doesn't bring a lot of heat up front. I noticed a lot more lingering heat than anything.
Cool.
So because of that lingering heat, you're gonna say it deserves that extra half, you think?
Yeah, I will say 3.5.
All right.
He's pushing points on people.
Yep. Eric loves to manipulate ratings. His favorite activity. That's why he's like, oh, I wasn't mentally prepared with my algorithms. I have to boot up my mind computer.
He's taking
Right.
bets.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
He's a bookie.
I just had a crash though because of all that big dinner of mine.
And it's running Windows 3.1 to begin with, so it's on floppy disks still. The actual floppy disks. The 5-inch.
right on par with the CNC controllers that we use at work.
Right.
I mean, that would certainly explain the fact that he had that old phone for so long.
Yeah, it's right up technology-wise with them on par.
But I have a newer one. A newer to me. It's still old.
It is new. It's not used.
No, it's not used, but it's already a year and a half out. Like it's a year and a half old
That's
model.
fine.
Yeah, that ain't
That's
nothing.
normal.
Yeah.
For me, I think this sauce, I didn't get enough flavor, which I didn't care for. The flavor I did get, I didn't really think I cared for that much either. You know, like I said, the whole like weird sweetness thing wasn't really doing it for me. It wasn't a cohesive flavor. It went through like stages, which can be a good thing, but for me in this instance, I didn't really care for. And furthermore, it didn't really seem like it could quite make up its mind of what it wanted to do. For me, I'm going to have to come in with like a 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it on this sauce. And as far as the heat goes, honestly, if you hadn't told me that this was supposed to be a hot sauce, I never would have known that. I'm thinking that I've had Carolina barbecue sauces that were spicier than this. For me personally, I was getting 0 spice.
0?
No, I'm not giving it a 0 rating. I meant very little spice. It did have, like I said, to me it was just on par with like a Carolina barbecue sauce. I'm thinking like a 1.5.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm coming in swing on this episode. That's what I got. Don't let my views, persuade you, Tori.
No, you
Go
won't.
ahead.
You never do.
Okay, good.
Wow.
You can go ahead and
Wow.
change directions
I'm
on us.
flabbergasted. Yeah. I sort of liked it. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably get chased out of here, but I mean, yeah, I sort of liked it. I liked the sweetness. I thought the sweetness was pleasant. The heat hung around probably for a little bit longer than it should have, which I thought was noteworthy. I can't get over you guys giving it sub 3 numbers at least. I mean, I don't know. I had a different experience. It's not the best sauce. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I loved it and gushed over it.
No,
but
you loved it.
I had a different
I
experience.
can't believe you guys were so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's awful by any stretch. I'm going to give it a 6.
All right.
Yeah.
It's respectable.
Remember,
Yeah,
this was also a sauce, recommended by one of our listeners, and they loved it.
Tell him to not recommend us any more sauces.
Yeah,
Just kidding. Dale, is that his name?
That's his name.
Dale,
yeah.
thank you for his recommendation.
Oh, yeah,
It was an
thank you,
interesting
Dale.
choice.
Yeah, right. Certainly interesting, different.
Never give us another one. No, just kidding.
Yeah, so that'll do it for the flavor. We're gonna give it a 6. I got a handful and then +1.
What about your heat?
Heat? I'm gonna give it a 4, man.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was hot. It caught me in a weird way. I know we've mentioned that before, where you catch a fleck maybe on some taste bud, and the taste bud had a bad day or whatever, and before you know it, you're screaming. And I had that experience with that, and even when I absolutely drowned that poor chicken nugget in that sauce, I had a spicy experience, man. It was a spicy experience. It was.
I think cayenne pepper can really hit people. I'm obviously spice hits people differently. I think cayenne pepper is one of those spices that, like, some people get really used to it, and some people are like, "Oh, wow, really affected by that heat level."
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but that's fine. Kind of to your point, Tori, I want to make sure that you understand I didn't necessarily dislike the sauce. I'm giving it a 3 because I should say I didn't necessarily dislike the flavors. The one thing I really didn't like was the weird sweetness that I didn't care for that at all.
Okay.
The rest of the flavors I thought were fine. I love, McDonald's sweet and sour sauce, which, like I said, that initially reminded me a lot of on the first half. But it just felt like it was so, not cohesive. Like it was just such a mess. That was what I didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. Yeah, for certain. I think that's a valid point. The ease point, I think he's right. I think the application was maybe not the best.
Yeah, I think marinated on some chicken breasts and then grilled.
Yeah,
I think, and then topped with a little bit more of this.
I do think this would serve better on a not breaded chicken.
Not breaded, and add a little salt.
I tried on wings.
Yeah, I'd try to try
on some wings.
That's
I think it'd be
fried
interesting.
chicken, though, man.
Yes, not breaded necessarily.
Not breaded though, just
Fair
deep
enough.
fried.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't think the breading was doing it. I think it was kind of like soaking it up and kind of like desaturating it. If anything. I think, definitely, like you were saying, like a barbecue chicken maybe, a marinated barbecue would be good, or like I said, a fried wing where it could like kind of sit and soak in this for a little while. That might be okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too thin, though. That's the thing. It'd be nice if it was a little bit thicker. I think that would help with the flavor if it was a little bit thicker.
Maybe it's just near and dear to my heart because baking soda is very near and dear to my heart. And I see that bottle and I see baking soda, but man, I am pulling for this already. I know it's early, but Comeback Kid 2022, look out.
Wow. Planning far in advance.
I'm pulling. I mean,
we might change the categories, though, too.
I'm going to hitch my wagon. Well, whatever.
Add and subtract some categories.
So let me toss this out here. E, do you happen to have any tortilla chips lying around?
We used to, but the salt on them was such a flavor enhancer that we had to throw them out. We had them heat sealed for a year and a half.
Say that's not true. They just got super
sealed.
old. Actually, I might have something.
There may actually be something in here.
I feel like the I almost want to say fragileness of this would be better on something like a chip.
Well, we gave a quick look in the cupboard, and we couldn't locate any of the well-aged tortilla chips for AK to try this on. So we'll have to move on.
Well, where were you going with that idea? Just to try it, just to see if the salt would enhance
right
it.
the fuck off.
Well, no,
I
I think that the even gentler flavor of the chip would definitely help the sauce. I said I don't think the flavor of sauce is bad. It just doesn't have enough strength to add flavor to like a lot of foods.
Right.
Okay.
Well, with all that being said, I think that's going to do it this week for us on this Mr. Spice Tangy Bang sauce. Hot sauce, right? Is that what they're calling it? They
They
hot
just call
sauce
it
on the
Tangy
bottom.
Bang.
No, on the bottom it says hot sauce, doesn't it?
It does. It's also the same text size as, actually smaller than gluten-free and salt-free.
We're going back to the
salt-free,
fucking
gluten-free Tangy Bang.
We're going
hot
back
sauce.
to the fucking Tonky Bonk sauce. I'm going to knock you in the noggin with it. How about that, piece of shit? And with that, I would like to say, Eric.
It's always a struggle to get through 1 hour with you, Adam. That's my thought for the fucking evening.
Tori,
Perseverance.
Do you have any
there you
closing
go.
thoughts?
Channel that into a final thought. There you go. Channel that.
I'm
Do you have
glad
any actual closing thoughts?
I'm
or
glad
just
that I managed to make it to the end without physical blows coming between us.
Tolerance,
Oh my God.
perseverance.
Yes, tolerance and perseverance has
What kind of
prevailed,
blows you're getting.
as always.
Yeah, you can definitely work that in nicely if you wanted.
Tori, what about you? Closing thoughts, please? No, hold on. Let's back up for a second.
Actually, I do have a quick shout out to my newest member of the family, Jameson Kevin Geisman, 1 day old. I look forward to meeting you soon. You're moralized now in a soft-spoken episode.
Hopefully he never has to listen to this.
Right?
Never has to suffer through it. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it around with that, because I was about to point out how you essentially just pawned off doing closing thoughts by insulting me. That was your new thing. So I know any way you can get out of closing thoughts.
Whatever works, I guess,
Whatever
right?
works,
Yeah, right.
Well, let's
Force it.
Okay, now let's go ahead and air traffic control us over to Tori.
Air traffic control coming in.
Delta Niner.
Yeah, I really have nothing. I can't relate it back in a clever way as per the use or infuse, good thoughts other way. This just came to me, and I think it's important to mention we should accept the things that we can't control. I think there's certainly an importance to that, because it alleviates you from a lot of worry. The past and the present, they're all two very separate things, and you'll experience them when the time is there. But there's no sense in worrying about it, because worry is a thief. It just takes a lot of things from you. A good night's sleep, or your appetite, or good time, or whatever the case may be. So be aware of those things that you can't control and treat them accordingly. And we are so proud of you, and we love you, and thank you for listening, of course, and good night.
And will you marry us? AK, do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share with the listeners?
I mean, I would hate to ruin such profound thoughts from TG over there.
Dude, just slam it.
So-
He usually does it all the time.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug for yourself? Do you have an Instagram you want to plug?
Just
a
go
Steam
ahead
handle?
and besmirch it.
I go out of my way to not have an Instagram or anything online.
You could be a like Smurf for
AK
us.
actually requested that I cut his voice out of this entire podcast. We forgot. Oh, speaking of ghosts, we forgot to do Ghost Paul again this episode.
Oh no, the dice were sitting there the whole time.
I want to mention something about that. I've decided that we don't have to do Ghost Paul for every episode.
Because you keep
think
forgetting.
Only
That's
the
why.
episodes where
Yes,
he thinks Eric's
I am-
manipulating the numbers.
Exactly.
Oh
That's
my
what I was going
God.
to say. Is I think we only need to inject that randomness when Eric starts going off about his logarithms. I think that's when Ghost Paul needs to make an appearance. He and I had a chat. We're cool with that arrangement.
Wow.
But yes, I did also make that up as an explanation for why I've forgotten to do it the past 2 episodes.
Do you switch off a decaf today?
No, actually,
Did you grab the wrong bag
I
this
think
morning?
I had less caffeine than I normally have
Oh,
today.
okay. All right.
Believe it or not. I went to get a Keurig. I bought some tea, just tea bags to work the other day, and we have one of those Keurig machines there
Yeah.
with the K-Cups,
Mhm.
And I was getting coffee from the K-Cups, and I'm not a huge fan of the K-Cup coffee because I think it just kind of tastes, so-so.
It
Not that I'm a
depends.
coffee snob.
I'm with you, yeah.
I just like actual brewed coffee better. I thought, okay, well, I'll bring some tea in because I like that better. I know the Keurig can dispense just hot water, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I put up a cup on the K-Cup dispenser, and I hit hot water and the appropriate cup size.
Comes out brown.
Yeah, it started coming out, and it was brown. And I was like, well, that's revolting. And I'm thinking, like, okay, it's probably just coffee until I saw bugs coming out. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's little fucking bugs floating around in this. I'm like, I don't know if this is coming out of, like, a separate tube or if it was just the fact that the Keurig was, like, had that shit in it and the hot water runs. Normally, I think it runs through the K-Cup. And if there's no K-Cup in there, it just runs through the little housing for it and cleans the shit out of it. And I think that's what it was.
Right, yeah, there's usually some overspill of coffee grounds, not bugs. But
There's fruit flies and shit in there.
Oh.
So I then elected to go ahead and not utilize the K-Cup anymore. There are going to be no more Keurigs for me. I'll get a little electric kettle to take to work and just boil water in that.
There
Don't you
go.
have a microwave?
I do. That just seems like a pain in the butt. I don't like sitting there with the microwave. I find that annoying. I'd rather get a little electric kettle and just boop.
Those are usually pretty quick. All right.
The electric kettle is really fast. I like that. I like the electric kettles a lot. All right. Well, I do want to take a minute to thank your friend Dale, the one that provided us with this sauce, the recommendation. He didn't buy it for us, but at least he gave us a recommendation.
Right?
And as a little reminder to the listeners, we're always open to recommendations. I know the calendar right now is pretty empty, so feel free to hit us up with any recommendations you may have. And also, another thanks to AK for coming on as our guest
For sure.
for episode, is this 45?
Yes, 45.
Okay. You sure?
No.
No. 44 came out today.
No.
That was
so
43 that came out today. 3, 4.
I'll double check on
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah. No, it's in my notes right here.
We'll get around to it. Take a hard stance. We'll fact check you in the show notes. But with all that being said, once again, thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh no, it's the end of the show. Thank goodness there's several other episodes waiting just for you. Check out our Instagram. We like to have some fun over there. We post the sauce bottle pics if you're curious, and the occasional meme. That's going to be Sauce Spoken Official. Despite our humble nature, we are accepting donations, believe it or not. Look us up on PayPal. That's going to be at Sauce Spoken. Hey, and if you like what you hear, grease those palms, babe. Lastly, roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty at saucespoken.wordpress.com. We have show notes and details. Check it out. Share us with a family member or a friend. If you're enjoying it, I'm certain they will too. Good night.
I'm gonna make you fucking sing "Hello, my darling, hello, my baby, hello, my ragtime girl," because you need to get like in the spirit. You're like, the sauce is like, it's got the label, it's kind of like red, and it's got some yellow stripes on it. There's the black lid. All right, let's sing, Eric. Come on, do it.
I think I sound
Sing
fine.
it. Sing it.
I don't even know what you were singing.
Hello, my baby, hello, my darling,
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
hello, my ragtime girl.
Hello, my ragtime girl.
Like that.
Gal.
There you go. Gal.
Now do it real, gal.
You never seen the frogs dancing to that on cartoons?
Kind of like a really old memory.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
Eric, give it to
Not
us.
that I've seen it recently.
Come on, Eric, one more time. Give it to us. Amp it up. This is going to be your new activity anytime you start going. All right, come on. Give it to us with some put some verve into it. Shake your shoulders a little bit.
Vinegar, some piss in
It was hello, my baby. What was it? Hello, my baby.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Ragtime music.
Ragtime music.
Come on, Eric. Shake your shoulders.
Why are you making AK
Come on.
do this? He
Come
sounded
on.
just as
He's a guest.
monotone.
That's different. He hasn't done this 52 times before.
52.
Or
I'm
48
45.
or something. I don't know. Whatever. Come on, stop
you
stalling.
can't count.
Stop stalling. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Put some. Yeah.
Gal.
It's a little
Fucking
better.
Just play him some.
Stop. Ay, ay, ay.
What's that band?
I don't know which one.
I don't
The
know.
one you always mess with him about?
Oh, Imagine Dragons.
There you go.
Fired up.
Fire up some Imagine Dragons. We'll fix it.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.